My name is Mo Scullion, and this is Cori Seraydarian. And thanks so much for coming to another one of our real estate interviews. We talk to realtors about how they got into the business, what they did before, and at the end we have a little bit of a lightning round just for fun. So I'd like to introduce Cori Seraydarian. She is a sales associate with Addison Wolfe and a member of the Jay Ginsberg team. And Cori, tell us a little bit about your real estate career.
Well, we're coming up on 10 years for me in the real estate biz. I grew up watching my dad sell real estate. And he is Jay Ginsberg of the Jay Ginsberg Group. And so it was sort of just what happened in my house growing up. And I was doing something completely different and moved home and got married and started having babies and figured I think I need to switch gears. And when that time came around, it seemed like real estate would be a good idea. So I went for it.
What were you doing before?
Well, I studied musical theater at NYU and was pursuing that for a while in New York City. Decided, that wasn't going the way that I had wanted it to. So I moved back to Bucks County, which I was excited for because I love Bucks County. And my husband and I got married, and we were running a video production company and doing quite well for a number of years. And as my kids got old enough to not need me so much, I decided it was time for me to change gears. It's hard to be married to your work and your husband at the same time. I don't know if we want to say that, but it's true. It's hard to be married to your boss.
Do you find that there are challenges with you working in real estate that you didn't have when you were working together so closely?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, real estate is sort of this nebulous business. You kind of make your schedule up as it goes, and it's contingent on your clients, and there's a lot about that in video production as well, but I'd never had to explain that before because he just knew all the things that we were challenged by. Mm-hmm. And now it takes a little while, but after this many years, and being somewhat successful at it, he understands that when I say it's time to go, I just gotta go. So
yeah. It must be kind of challenging to both be working in industries that essentially don't have a predictable revenue.
True.
That you're going from job to job and hoping that you get paid at the end. That must be a challenge.
Well, it is, which is one of the reasons why he took the job at George School.
So Cori's husband is the film teacher at George School.
That is correct.
Which is also where Cori met her husband,
That
Scott.
is correct.
And you want to plug your husband's?
Yeah.
Because are you still doing lunch productions?
Not really. We have liquidated that company. Mm-hmm. It doesn't exist anymore. I mean, he would do freelance videography, but he's shifted. We took a job at George School, and it's incredibly rewarding and incredibly overwhelming. So there isn't really much time for that kind of stuff, although he did manage to write 3 graphic novels recently, just published. The Pathfinder Society, get them in your nearest bookstore. So he's a busy guy.
Yeah.
But doing great. And it was hard when we were 2 incomes that were not consistent. Now at least we have teaching, but real estate's been good too.
Well, so you came from the real estate life with your dad being a realtor mm-hmm. for most of your life. Mm-hmm. What did you find that was surprising that you didn't expect when you became a realtor?
Jay Ginsberg is really good at what he does, and he just sort of made it seem pretty easy. And it isn't easy. It's challenging working with people and their time frames, and things happen, life happens, and not every transaction is successful. And so there was some of that was a learning curve for me, for sure, because, it just seemed to be working all the time for Dad. And of course, he's been doing it for 40 whatever years. So of course, it is mostly successful for him. But it's a challenging career, and because life is a challenging thing, and buying real estate or selling real estate, those are people's lives, their homes. And so all of that stuff comes up during a real estate transaction.
Yeah. What do you like best about real estate?
It's super exciting when you walk into a house that you can just see the people have instantaneously fallen in love with, and they're like, yes, yes,
I might get paid.
Yeah, well, there's that, but it's lovely to see that excitement in their faces, and yes, I'm excited to get paid too.
Talking about some of the challenges, I remember that one of the first challenges was the length of time that it took to get paid that first time.
Absolutely.
That there's a lag of months, and one of the things that we tell new agents when they join the group is that you have to have some capital set aside to be able to start this career, because there's going to be a lag time between the time that you start and the first time that you get paid.
Yep.
So what are some of the other things that you would like to tell people that about the life as a real estate agent that you don't think that they might know?
Well, that's certainly true. That, it's not like somebody calls you up on the phone and says, I want to purchase or sell some real estate, and like a month later, done deal. It's a process. So being constantly involved in curating that process is a full-time job. And although you may not have 9 to 5 hours in an office, that is a full-time job. And I always find it so funny when I go to my in-laws on the weekends, like on a Sunday, and we're gathering for a family event or whatever, and they are shocked that I consider myself still working, even though we're having. She's like, "Oh, it's so nice that you were able to take off today." I'm like, "I'm not off.
My work is on my phone."
Yeah, as long as I've got this little baby here, I'm in the office. Yeah. So, yeah, it is 24/7, and because of the internet and your availability through your phone or whatever, it sort of never stops. So you do also have to really create boundaries for yourself.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is hard, but necessary. Otherwise, you're dreaming about your transactions or having nightmares about them. That's something that has plagued me from time to time. Yeah, you have to set some boundaries, because it is a nonstop possibility to be working.
What's your favorite thing to do what's your favorite thing in real estate that you think that you are particularly good at?
I think at this point I'm pretty good at taking people through the process step by step, helping them understand what's coming next, holding their hand if they need it because they're nervous or they've never done it before, and also, empowering them to feel like they've got it covered if they come from that place. If this is the 5th house they've bought, I can kind of read their level of understanding of the process and know how to help them or not help them, depending.
I think that's a thing that is often missing with realtors, that you've done it for so many years, or you've done it so many times that you start to skip the steps and assume that the person that you're talking to understands. And I think that you are particularly good at going all the way back to the beginning and working them through the minutia of each one of those steps.
Yeah, I think it's important, because also as the professional who's overseeing the whole thing, there's nothing worse than when I think I've forgotten something or I've missed
Yeah.
I've made a mistake because I didn't explain what was going on or whatever. So I am very careful about trying to make sure people know what the heck is going on.
Yeah. And another thing I think is relationships with other agents can sometimes make that process really hard. And I think that you are particularly good at being patient and making sure that the agent on the other side is giving you all that, the little minutia that you need to get over to your client.
Yeah.
That can sometimes be hard.
It can be, yeah. I don't think everybody cares about that minutia the way that I do, for better or for worse. I don't know, but that's how I do it.
What's your favorite story from your real estate career? Okay.
Here's a good one. I have these lovely people that are Italian. English is not their first language. We had some tears because there were some things in the contract that didn't quite make sense. You know, it was challenging, but like they're lovely, and I have grown to still be in touch with them. And this was like 7 or 8 years ago. You know, we traveled the countryside looking for a house for them. They hardly knew like the countryside. We finally find the place. We're under contract. Settlement day's coming. We go to do our final walkthrough, and there was a waterbed in the primary bedroom, and it was a bit tense with the sellers because they were going through a divorce. So there was that as well. We get there, and there's a hose coming out of the primary bedroom window on the second floor because they hadn't finished draining the waterbed to get it out of the property. And I could just see that my clients, who were already a little nervous about all of it, were like, what do we do? There's water coming out of the second floor window. So anyway, waterbeds, nobody needs them. That's the moral of the story. But, you know, we figured it out. It was all good in the end, but I thought, oh, this is one for the books. Hose out the window, draining the waterbed.
Everything's settled and...
Everything's settled.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, so now it's the lightning round. So you have to do this really fast. You can't think about it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a lightning round,
Okay.
so you can't give yourself time to think about it. So describe yourself with one word.
Patient.
If you could turn yourself into an animal, what animal would it be?
Bird.
And how do you think the characteristics of being a bird would relate to your job in real estate?
I can see everything from above.
Without actually having to be there?
Exactly.
And if you wrote a book about your career, what would it be called?
A little of this and a little of that.
Well, thank you very much, Cori, for giving us these great stories.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
And thank you very much for spending some time with us, and we hope we see you again soon. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.